Peace, family. Real quick, I just want to encourage you today by telling you that it's okay. Yesterday we talked about Joseph and his dreams and how God used him to save his family, right? Still in Genesis 37, I just rereading that, I noticed that there were three potential scenarios that Joseph was unknowingly faced with when he was approaching his brothers after being sent from his father to check on him, to check on the brothers and check on the sheep. The brothers saw him off in the distance, and their first plot was to kill him. The second plot, Reuben suggested that they just leave him in a dry well so that their hands were clean. And third, we have Judah suggesting that they sell him into slavery. As the story goes, we know that they ended up selling him into slavery, and that ended up being their redemption, or he ended up redeeming them in providing safe passage, safe harbor, food, shelter, etc. once they made it to Egypt nearly 2 decades later. And I hope that encourages you in that provides us framework to what God can do and does do for his people and for those that stay faithful to him. Doesn't matter what you are going through, and it doesn't matter what it looks like, and not to diminish what you're going through, but in the big picture, if you know who you serve and if you know the character of who you serve, you can trust that who you serve will always look out for you. Now, that does not mean that everything will go right when and how you want it to, but it does mean that everything will work out for you, and more importantly, to the glory of God. Again, taking Daniel into account, he was betrayed by his own family. He was sold into slavery. In those two instances alone, we see that immediately Daniel was elevated. He went from hated brother to slave to Potiphar, which immediately elevated him to being in command of Potiphar's house, second only to Potiphar himself. He remained true to himself. He remained faithful to God, and that, I don't want to say backfire, so really listen to what I'm saying, but that led to him being thrown into prison. In prison, God was still faithful. He still had those entrusted to Daniel, or to those Daniel was entrusted to put him above the prison. So every situation, no matter how dark it was for Daniel, I keep saying Daniel, God is telling me something, so stay tuned. Daniel's probably coming next. I mean Joseph. But Joseph received favor wherever he went. No matter how dark it looked, no matter the circumstances, God was with him. God was faithful. Joseph was faithful, and he was continuously elevated. So again, it's okay. It's okay what you're going through now. What you're going through won't last, but God will. And everything that you think is destroying you hasn't destroyed you yet. You still here. God is still here. God still got you. So keep on keeping on. And know that it's okay. Be blessed.